Welcome to God's Daily Counsel, friends, United States and across the globe. This is your host, Reverend Mukoie from United Family Fellowship. I am glad to bring the counsel of the Lord into your homes. Before I say anything that I have to say today, I want to begin by thanking all those people that are supporting this channel. Without you guys, we would not be surviving. So I want to thank you. I want to acknowledge you, everyone. So please keep on good work. Let's continue to spread the wisdom of God into the world. We need it. Today we have a very special edition of God's Daily Counsel. We are going to talk about a very touchy subject, which is racism. The reason why I want to talk about this today, it is because racism is still very much alive in our society. So as a watchman, I have that responsibility to help humanity bring a counsel so that humanity can live better. And today we are going to focus on the conversation between sDonlemon and Elon Musk. We are going to talk about the solution Elon Musk is offering us in order to stop racism in our society. I will play the tape, let you listen to that small segment, and then I will return to make my point. Let's go.
You think that society blames everything on racism now?
It blames a lot of things on it, and yeah.
You think that's unfair?
Yeah.
Why?
I think we should not make this a constant subject. I think we need to move on. I think we just treat people like people.
You don't agree that this country was founded on racism and founded on slavery and in many ways inequities that still continue on to this day?
I think every country at that time, and I think even today, was extremely racist. Every country, and obviously slavery was present in about half of this country. And no, but was not present in the north. There was racism for sure, but I think we want to look to the future rather than the past, and instead of engaging in constant rehashing of the past, because in fact, if you look at history, if you study history broadly, everyone was a slave. Everyone.
Yes. Well, not everyone was a slave.
No,
but
everyone was a slave.
Okay, but
we are all descended from slaves.
yeah, well,
All of us.
yeah.
It's just a question of when. Was it more recent or less recent? That's it.
Right.
But what future do we want?
Is
this something we want to make a part of our constant dialogue forever, or do we want to say, like, let's just move on and treat everyone, according to just who they are as an individual?
I agree with you with that. That's the ideal. But what the evidence shows is that that's not what's actually in practice.
I think we're doing better than anywhere else.
That's true. I agree with that. But that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean a lot to a whole lot of people who aren't able to take advantage of the opportunities that you were able to take advantage of, simply because of the color of your skin.
What advantages did my color of my skin give me?
Well, there's an ease that you have in society that many people of color don't. You were able to come to this country voluntarily. There are many people who were not able to come to the country voluntarily. There are people who came here as slaves.
For me to come here.
And there is a legacy of slavery that still continues on. There's a legacy of racism that still continues on in this country. That's undeniable.
Well, if we keep talking about it nonstop, it will never go away. If we keep making that the central thing, it will never go away.
Well, why do you believe that?
I think I'm just making a simple statement of fact. So I think we want to get away from making everything a race or a gender or whatever issue, and just treat people like individuals.
Welcome back, friends. I'm going to talk directly to Elon Musk. Friends, as you heard, it was a very simple question from sDonlemon. Elon Musk, do you think that we blame everything on racism? Quickly, he said, yes. And he goes on to say, in order for racism to stop or to end in this country or in our society, we have to stop talking about it. We have to move on. Wow. We have to move on. Few things that I want to address with you, Elon Musk. One, you cannot tell people to stop talking about racism when racism is still very much alive. People are still suffering because of racism in our society. So you cannot tell them to stop talking about it when it's still very much alive. What would you say to women who are getting raped every day in this country? Would you tell them to stop talking about rape or the offenders? What about children who are getting abused every day in this country or molested? Would you tell their parent to stop talking about rape and molestation against their children? Would you stop them from fighting to keep their children safe? What would you say to them? What would you say to somebody who suffers from cancer, who's fighting for his or her life? Would you tell them, stop, move on? You don't need to fight? It doesn't make any sense. I know you're intelligent. That's why you have all that. All those businesses. But I think you lack wisdom. Number two, maybe instead of telling the victims of slavery to stop from talking about slavery or racism, why don't you talk to the perpetrators of racism in this country to tell them to stop? And when we see that there's no more racism in this country, then we will stop talking about it. So I just want to encourage you to speak to the perpetrators of racism. Tell them to stop. Tell them to stop. And then the victims of racism will stop talking about it or fighting about it. Elon Musk, you know Erik Prince. I'm sure you know him. And I want to run this tape just for you and listen to what Erik Prince said about Africa and other developing countries. You tell me that we need to move on. We don't have to talk about this. Listen to it.
Illegal migration in Europe, in the United States, it ultimately comes down to a contest of what is governance. Who is governed? Which countries are governed well? And if so many of these countries around the world are incapable of governing themselves, then it's time for us to just put the imperial hat back on to say, we're going to govern those countries if you're incapable of governing yourselves, because enough is enough. We're done being invaded.
Because our own national security risk is at stake.
Exactly.
interests are at stake.
You can say that about pretty much all of Africa. They're incapable of governing themselves and benefiting their citizens because the governments there are all about looting and pillaging and lining their pockets and going shopping in Paris instead of actually
All right, hold
making
on a
their
second.
country
Hold
a
on.
better
People on the left
land.
are going to watch this. They're going to say, wait a minute, Erik Prince is talking about being a colonialist again.
Absolutely. Yes. Enough.
So racism, Mr. Musk, is still very much alive. You cannot stop talking about it. As you heard on the tape, Erik is suggesting that because African countries and other developing countries cannot govern themselves, we should bring imperialism. We should colonize those countries again. So Elon Musk, we don't stop talking about racism because of people like you and Erik Prince. Erik Prince is just one of them. Tell the perpetrators to stop the act of racism. And then, as victims, we will stop talking about racism. Thank you, sir. Friends, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe, and share it with someone. God doesn't like racism. God sees all of us as children, as his children. Be you black, white, yellow, orange, we all share the same color of blood. That shows us that we came from one person, Heavenly Father. So when the people discriminate against each other, that's a spirit that needs to be destroyed and does not come from God. And that's the reason why, again, your servant, as your servant, I'm talking about this today. We should not tolerate discrimination against anybody. We should not tolerate racism against anybody. I don't care, be you a pastor. If you are racist, your preaching doesn't mean anything to God. So it is not biblical to discriminate against anybody based on their race, color, or culture. We should not tolerate racism. We should promote equality. But if this kind of behavior continues, people have the right to speak up until we get to a better place. Thank you for watching. Again, thank you for your support to this channel. God bless you. Your host, Reverend Mukoie.